and welcome to this another episode of ECCB Connects. ECCB Connects is produced by the Eastern Caribbean Central Bank to help you understand who we are, what we do, and how we serve you. Today we'll be speaking with Miss Beverley Labadie, Senior Economist in the Research Department. Beverley, welcome to ECCB Connects.
Thank you, Shimalan.
One of the key functions of the Eastern Caribbean Central Bank is to provide economic analysis and policy advice to its member governments to assist them with developing programs for their citizens. And of course, we know the research department plays a critical role in this regard.
Yes, the research department is responsible for conducting research and giving policy advice to the member governments so they'll be able to make good decisions for the people of the region. In the research department, we have three main units. We have the Library and Archives unit, we have the Technical unit, and we have the Country Economist unit, which I am a part of. As Country Economists, we have a number of functions. One of them is we do a daily country surveillance. On a daily basis, we look at what is happening in the countries, we look at newspapers, we look at television clips, we look at the World Wide Web, and just to track what is happening in our countries.
And when you say what's happening, in what sense?
In terms of politically, socially, economically, anything that will impact the economy of these countries, we focus on that. And we also write a weekly report on what is going on in the countries. We do the economic and financial reviews. We do that on a quarterly basis. We also do our financial programming, where we update the numbers from the countries. We also look at the research papers, and in the research papers, what we really do in the research papers is we conduct research which is driven by the priority of the bank. And we also look at sectors, economic sectors within the economy.
So how do you go about gathering information for your economic analysis and to write your research papers?
Okay, for research papers, we look at historical data, which is stored in either at the IMF or in our own statistics department. But for the economic and financial reviews, we get the data from the country. So the country provides data for us on the fiscal operations on a quarterly basis. They give us that data on monthly, and we condense it to quarterly so we can write these reports. So these are really the source of our data. For other research, we use a lot of other sources like the World Bank, the UN, wherever we can get concrete data, we use that to do our research.
And you also visit the countries, you conduct missions?
Yes, we do that. As part of our country surveillance, we conduct missions. We take part in a number of missions. One of them is the annual economic assessment mission that we do. We do it ourselves. We go to the countries, we speak to a number of stakeholders, the private sector, we speak to government, the opposition, we speak to a number of social groups. We also speak to labor unions, as many people from the cross-section of the economy that we can get. We speak to them. We speak to them about what's happening, the economic performance, and what they expect in the near term.
And I know when you go on your missions, you also have some engagements with students. Tell us about those engagements.
We make it a point of duty to meet a group of students. What we do, we have an interactive session with the students, and this session entails knowing what the role of the ECCB is in their country, and also the opportunities that are available to students or to young persons, more or less, at the ECCU level. During these missions, we also do a visit of the infrastructural projects, the main infrastructural projects in these countries. So if there is a hotel being developed or a large road infrastructural projects, we go and we visit these projects.
And when you visit, what's the purpose of your visit?
We just want to make an assessment as to where it is. We get the value of the project, what has already been done, how it impacts the economy. Because you know, when you have those large construction projects, they have an impact on the performance of the economy.
Beverley, you speak about the extensive work you do, you and the other country economists do. How does your work impact the lives of the citizens of the region?
Okay, we think our work is very important in the development of the region. When we do our policy briefs and our research papers, what we do is we give policy advice to the board of directors and also to the Monetary Council, which is the highest decision-making body in the ECCB. So their decisions impact the lives of all the citizens of the ECCU. We also, our economic and financial reviews, a number of private sector firms use that because in our reviews, we have a near-term prospect. They use these prospects to do their planning and their forecasting going forward. In terms of the bank resolution strategy, that we know that there was a bank resolution process going on in Antigua and
the
Barbuda.
ABI Bank.
Right. The economists are responsible for doing analysis and forecasting to help in that process, and also the ongoing process in Anguilla. So we contribute to all of this.
And I know you also prepared recently a paper that examined the Petro-Carib arrangement.
Yes, Shimala. What we did is we looked at the possibility of a dismantling of the Petro-Carib agreement. If that were to happen, how would it affect the ECCU? You know that a number of members of the ECCU receive the petroleum products from Petro-Carib. There's also this debt section because they get a part of, they pay a part up front and the balance of it is accumulated as debt. So we looked at how is this debt going to impact the members that are involved in the Petro-Carib, and also if, because of what's happening in Venezuela right now, the economic situation in Venezuela, if they were to request the monies owed to them up front right now, how would that impact the debt in the ECCU, and how would it affect them? What are the implications going forward for acquiring the 60% debt to GDP ratio by 2030?
And of course, we know a country's debt affects the people because the people are responsible for paying that debt.
Exactly. Yes.
Beverley, you spoke about the extensive work you do, the research papers you write, and the analysis that you conduct and so on. You also mentioned that these papers are available to the ECCB Board of Directors, Monetary Council, and the member governments.
Yes.
But let's say a teacher, a student, or a businessman wants to, you know, get these papers, to get the information, to help them in their research or whatever they want to do. How can they get access to your papers?
Well, most of our research papers, after it has gone through the review process, they are uploaded on the bank's website. We have a working paper series where most of our papers are being uploaded. So they could just go to the website, go under the working paper series, and they'll be able to access most of our papers. Some of them we also present them at external seminars, so that would give not just the people of the region, but the whole world access to our work.
Given the impact of the work of the country economists at the ECCB on the lives of the citizens of the region, and you know its impact on national development, I imagine that you're expected to stay on top of your game. How do you and the other economists stay sharp? How do you stay current?
Okay. Right now we have a whole lot of resources available to us. We have the World Wide Web, but internally we have the library. The library has a number of resources, and we have access to a number of journals, both in print and electronically. So the library gives us access to these journals and also access to a wide range of catalogs, writings, new research, new techniques. So this is available to us. We also do our internal capacity building. So if one person goes overseas for training, the person comes back and pass on that training to the colleagues. We also do the technical meeting of economists where we do our peer review of our work. We come on a Wednesday afternoon and you present your work and we look at the technique, we look at the data, we do some interrogation, and then you go back and you review your work. After that work is reviewed, we present it at seminar series where staff members from other departments come in and they give their feedback. And what we do, incorporate that feedback, and then we go on to review the paper.
Okay.
We also do some online courses. The IMF and some other reputable institutions, they offer courses online via the EDX platform. We also get involved in doing that. So we have a number of resources to keep in touch with what's going on in our field.
Okay. You have been an economist at the ECCB for 9 years.
Yes.
And you mentioned that when you go on your missions, you have engagements with students. Let's say you have a student who is thinking about becoming an economist, and that student is not too sure. What would you say?
Yeah, we get that question. I get that question a lot when we have the interactive sessions, and I tell them that's a fantastic idea. Go for it, stay on course, because when you become an economist, you have the opportunity to contribute directly to the decision-making process and to help the people. So this is a very rewarding career, so I tell them go for it. They also ask me if I make a lot of money because they're interested. They want careers that pay them well. And I say, I mean, it's not a lot, but we make a good bit. So
as an economist?
As an economist, yes, compared with a lot of other professions. So they should really seriously consider it.
Something they should consider.
Yes. And as I said, it's very rewarding.
Beverley, you say that your job is very rewarding and exciting, but what do you find most interesting being an economist at the Eastern Caribbean Central Bank?
Well, what makes my job very interesting is the opportunity to contribute to the development of the region. I particularly enjoy the macroeconomic analysis, where we trace the country's developments over time, and we use that to make decisions in terms of, we also do short to medium term projections. That is a very exciting thing because you work with numbers, it gets you going. So if you're not a person who likes the mundane, who likes excitement, this is a very good area for you. You could consider changing Chimalon if you want to. And I also like the interaction and the collaboration that I have with the colleagues at the Ministries of Finance. They are very hardworking people and do to contribute to the development of the region. So I enjoy that interaction with them also.
Beverley, thank you very much for speaking with us on ECCB Connects.
My pleasure.
You're watching ECCB Connects, protecting our currency, developing our region. And now for this week's financial tip.
Hi, my name is Doreen Leibel and I'm from Anguilla and I'm the owner of J&J's Souvenir and Gift Shop. The one thing in life that is certain is uncertainty. Life will throw some unexpected, costly curveballs like illness, car accident, layoff from job. Therefore, having an emergency fund is critical to your financial success.
To view any episode of ECCB Connects, anytime, any place, at your convenience, check out our YouTube channel, ECCB Connects.
This brings us to the end of this episode of ECCB Connects. If you have a question or a topic you'd like us to discuss on ECCB Connects, send us an email to the address at the bottom of your screen. Thank you for joining us and see you next time.